Chaos Uncontrolled, Chapter 7. Short Time No See.
Maddie, look!
Vanilla handed a newspaper to Maddie. The two of them had found their way out of the forest to a small roadside cafe on its edge. Maddie took the newspaper and read the headline aloud.
Mysterious blue lightning shuts down power to the entire city? Oh no, that's my kid.
One of your kids did that?
Yep, that's my Sonic.
Maddie had a concerned expression on her face.
He's upset.
Well, at least we know he was in the city.
If it was anything like the first time he'd caused a blackout, Sonic would have run away from where he was when he caused the blackout and attempted to find somewhere to hide.
Hopefully Tails and Knuckles can still find him.
Getting into the city would be too long of a walk. They'd have to sort out some other method of transportation. Maddie and Vanilla didn't have any currency that worked in this world, so they couldn't afford to get any lunch. But they had been given a pot of tea on the house to share. Maddie and Vanilla had graciously accepted it. The door slammed open and jolted the whole room. Maddie looked to the door to see the culprit. A large crocodile wearing headphones and a gold chain had slammed the door open with a bit more drama than he intended, if his face was anything to go by. But next to him was Tom.
Maddie?
The moment he saw her, he ran over.
I'm so glad you're okay.
Me too. I see you've made a friend.
Maddie gestured to the giant crocodile that was standing next to him.
So have you.
Tom did a small wave and Vanilla waved back.
Hey, Miss Vanilla. Fancy seeing you here.
Nice to see you too, Vector.
You two know each other?
Tom pulled out one of the spare chairs and sat down next to Maddie.
Yeah, Miss Vanilla here is just on the other side of town of my detective agency.
Yes, him and his boys are wonderful to have over for tea.
Vanilla fondly smiled at Vector as he sat down.
Tom, Sonic's already in the news.
Maddie turned the paper to Tom and tapped the headline.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
You weren't kidding when you said your kids are a handful.
Believe me, this isn't the worst trouble they've gotten themselves into.
Maddie could think of many, many moments that would qualify.
Suddenly I'm glad I only have one child to look after.
Vanilla laughed into her hand.
You just wait till she's a teenager. She's already taking after Sonic and friends.
Vector nudged Vanilla playfully.
Oh, don't act like your boys aren't a dangerous influence. They get themselves into just as much trouble as everyone else.
My boys can handle themselves just fine.
An explosion erupted below their feet, narrowly missing them. Espio grabbed Charlie and ran.
Ha! I gotcha!
Bokum flew above them, pressing random buttons on some kind of remote controller device.
I'm gonna tackle him.
Charmy, don't.
Espio jumped up and tried to grab Charmy, who tackled Bokum out of the air.
Hey, no fair!
Bokum and Charmy began an aerial chase over the remote. Charmy kept catching up to Bokum and grabbing onto the remote, sending the security defenses it controlled haywire.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry, Espio.
Charmy looked down for a second, then immediately went back to fighting with Bokum. Espio narrowed his eyes in Charmy's direction. He might as well make the best of this distraction. They needed more information on what was going on. Surely Eggman would have plenty of notes and recordings. He just had to find the computer room. Espio made sure he was in Charmy's line of sight when he made a few pre-established hand gestures. Charmy caught sight of this and responded. Now that Charmy knew his task was to keep Bokum busy, be annoying as possible as it were, Espio was confident in sneaking off and snooping around Eggman's base. Eggman heard a beep from his communicator.
Huh? What's this?
Eggman had been sent a file, a large one, schematics, a whole bunch of schematics, for a line of egg drones.
What's going on here?
They sounded like something he would name one of his robots, but they looked nothing like what he'd built before. They were sleek, compact, and futuristic. Another beep and a message popped up.
Thought you could need some help from a friend.
Whoever this friend was had connected to his communicator and had got past all of his systems. They had some impressive hacking skills.
A friend? Reveal yourself, now!
All in good time. For now, these should come in handy.
Eggman looked over the designs carefully. There wasn't any obvious signs of sabotage in the design, and they looked very impressive.
How do I know I can trust you?
There was no message for a few seconds. Most like the friend wasn't trustworthy after all. Eggman had his fingers over the button to delete the schematic file. A beep. The friend had sent him gun insider info. There was so much here. Future plans, base maps, ancient files. They were all here for Eggman's eyes to see. What was their plan? Eggman couldn't see what the friend was getting out of any of this.
How does this benefit you? What are you after?
You're enemies with a certain blue hedgehog and his family, correct?
Sonic and his family, not friends. So they were from the other world then. Interesting.
Yes, me, I assume.
Not quite, but close.
Not him, but still an enemy of Sonic.
If you're not me, then why trust me?
You remind me of someone.
This friend was being annoyingly vague. If Eggman was to work with them, he'd need to watch his back. Knuckles glared at Deco and Boko. They were both walking the same way because they had picked Chaos Energy from the exact same point. Knuckles was rather smug to watch the two robots fiddle with a machine to pick it up. He didn't need any fancy gadgets to pick up Chaos Energy. He was fine on his own.
It's moving again.
Deco pointed at the screen that showed blinking lights moving across the city streets. While the two robots fiddled around with their device, Knuckles started to head towards where he felt the Chaos Energy was. There was a lot of it there. Granted, it was from two different sources right next to each other, but it was still an unusually high amount to see in one place.
Knuckles, wait for us!
Knuckles growled in annoyance when the two robots caught up to him.
Would you two leave me alone?
There's no point.
We are going to the same place.
Well, we don't have to go the same way.
We are heading in a straight line.
It is fastest.
Knuckles sensed that the Chaos Energy was heading in the direction of the Thorndyke's house. Of course. As Deco spoke, he gestured, and Knuckles' attention was drawn to the device in his hand. They couldn't track the Chaos Energy without that. Knuckles lunged forwards and snatched the device.
Hey!
Knuckles crushed it before the robots could get it back from him.
That was low.
Boko gave him a disapproving look.
I'm not letting Eggman get that Chaos Energy. Bye.
Knuckles jumped off in a random direction that was not towards the Chaos Energy. Wherever it was heading to the Thorndyke's place. He just met up with it there. He just had to lose Deco and Boko first.
So how fast do you think you can go?
Amy watched in amusement as the younger Sonic began to annoy his counterpart with questions.
Probably faster than you. I seriously doubt it.
Younger Sonic was changing where he was walking every few seconds. One moment he was on the left, the next ahead of them walking backwards.
Do not run off, brother. I have no desire to be separated again.
The other Knuckles was walking beside her and scanning the city for any potential threats.
Can we have a race later?
Won't matter because I'll win.
No, you won't.
Amy shook her head and turned to other Knuckles.
So you're Tails and Sonic's big brother, huh?
I am. Your Tails told me that it's not the same here.
No, the Knuckles I know isn't that friendly and mostly does his own thing. He's willing to help us out, but other than that, we don't really see him. Too busy guarding the Master Emeralds.
Oh yes, I heard it's bigger here.
Amy guessed that this Knuckles would still be the Master Emerald's guardian. It was hard to imagine him not guarding it.
Much smaller.
Knuckles cupped his hands to show her the size, which was about the size of a basketball.
Is that small?
Knuckles nodded and flicked his gaze over to the two Sonics, who had stopped and were waving for their attention. Her Sonic was pointing down at an alleyway.
I'm gonna go collect Chris. You guys wait here.
And with that, her Sonic zipped away and left her alone with the two other dimensional visitors.
It'll take him a few minutes to come back. He tends to slow down if someone can't handle his speed.
Amy shot a pointed glare towards the younger Sonic, who shifted around and gave her an awkward grin. Knuckles turned to his brother and raised a brow.
What did you do?
I was in such a rush to find you that I might have forgotten that everyone is used to my speed.
Understandable. It is easy to forget how fragile people are.
Amy was rather concerned to hear other Knuckles casually describe people as fragile. And going by what she saw during the battle, it was probably accurate to him. Amy heard a noise that indicated her Sonic was returning with Chris.
Here we are, Chris. Me, not actually a fake. Knuckles and other me.
Her Sonic put Chris on the ground and gestured to the brother duo. Knuckles did a small nod.
Christopher and I are already introduced.
The younger, more hyper Sonic ran over to Chris to say hello.
Hi, I'm Sonic Wachowski.
Amy didn't think she would ever get used to him having a last name.
Wachowski?
It is the name of our tribe.
Oh yeah, Knuckles mentioned you were brothers. So what was it like to grow up together?
Both of their faces dropped and sad expressions took over their faces. Knuckles avoided their gazes and Sonic gripped his arm.
We didn't. The whole brothers thing is still new.
But you seem so close.
We are.
Then when do you grow up?
Enough. That is for later. There's a lot to tell.
Oh, now you think context is necessary.
Sonic's tone was still slightly sad, but had flickers of humor in it.
They are wanting to know about us growing up, not one singular event.
Still think saying what you were going to say without context was a terrible idea?
Other Sonic muttered under his breath. Amy recalled Other Sonic telling her that he had to leave his home and stay hidden. And if this Knuckles had a similar early life to the one she knew, their childhoods weren't the happy families she had been starting to picture.
So you all started out in different families then?
Kinda. None of us had a family in a long time before Tom and Maddie adopted us.
Wait, none of you?
Amy had guessed that one of their parents had taken the other two in after becoming friends or something like that.
Yep, none of us are even related.
Other than our cousin and aunt. They are related to Mother.
Our parents aren't even the same species as us.
That must get you some weird looks.
In most places, yes, our family is different and new. But it's good, and we're together now. Things are better.
The brothers gave each other a fond look.
Yeah, much better.
Huh. The way you just said that reminds me of Stitch from the movie where the girl makes friends with an alien.
The younger Sonic turned to Chris with an excited expression.
You have Lilo Stitch in this world? Oh my gosh, that's amazing! It's one of our favorite movies ever!
Amy wasn't able to catch what he started to say next because the little hedgehog started to happily ramble on about the movie.
He will do this for a while. We should walk while we listen.
Knuckles casually picked up his still rambling brother, hoisted him up onto his shoulders, and turned to them with an expectant look.
Right then. My house is this way. Come on.
As Chris led them home, Amy got roped into the conversation. She had seen the movie once and had really enjoyed it. Judging by the look on his face, the hedgehog on Knuckles' shoulders related a lot to the film. Unfortunately for her Sonic, he wasn't interested in movies that much and had nothing to add to the conversation. Tails had wanted to fly the tornado as fast as possible the moment he got the message that his double was back at the house. But with how low it was flying, it was probably a bad idea. When he got there, he did one of the messiest non-crash landings he had ever done and flew into the house. And there on the couch with a hot drink held in his paws was a fox that looked almost identical to himself. He was somewhat fluffier and his fur was a few shades yellower, but other than that, it was like looking into a mirror. The entire room was silent, watching the two foxes and awaiting their first interaction. The oranger tails stepped closer.
Hi there.
Hello.
The two of them met eyes, neither sure what to make of each other.
Hey, you're the little brother of Knuckles, right?
His counterpart's gaze snapped to him.
Yes. Have you seen him? I met up with him earlier. Chris went with him to show him the way around. He's still out there looking for you and Sonic.
Other Tails leaped to his feet.
Where did you see them? I have to find them. I can't risk losing them. Calm down, there's no need. I just got a message from Chris. He met up with both of them and is leading them here right now.
Other Tails seemed to relax and flopped back on the couch.
There we are, dearie. Looks like you won't be split up from your brothers much longer.
Alan looked to the other Tails kindly.
Hopefully they know where Mom and Dad are. Then all of us will be together again.
Tails gave his counterpart a look.
Mom and Dad?
His counterpart mirrored his confused expression.
You know, Tom and Maddie, our parents?
Tails' expression remained the same.
It's true. Not only does he have a Sonic and Knuckles as older brothers, he also has parents looking after them.
Rouge was reclined on the couch typing something on her communicator, promptly talking to Topaz.
Mr. and Mrs. Wachowski? Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady? Anything?
Sorry, none of those names ring a bell.
Tails watched his counterpart droop a bit. Other Tails fiddled with a device in his hand while mouthing words, while he typed his notes in. Rouge caught sight of the device. Other Tails fiddled with a device in his hand while mouthing words, while he typed his notes in. Rouge caught sight of the device.
Hey, that's the thing I saw you use last night. Why don't you show your copy here those awesome holograms from earlier?
Now that piqued his interest.
Holograms?
This counterpart could make holograms?
Yeah, all thanks to my Miles Electric.
Other Tails held out the device in question. It was yellow and squarish, with a grip on the bottom. Along its sides were buttons perfectly placed for his hands, and set in the center was a screen that was still on, the notes he had been taking on the differences between worlds he had noticed so far.
Hey, that's really cool.
Thanks, I can do all sorts of things. I can scan for chaos energy with it, access galactic database. Normally I call my family with it, but it seems a little messed up right now.
My gadgets got messed up when you guys got brought here. Though there's almost back to normal now.
That's a relief. I put a lot of work into it. I would hate for it to stop working.
But that's not all it can do, isn't it?
Oh, right. Rouge said it can make holograms.
I could also remotely control some of my other inventions with it. I do have a translator function, but I don't have enough data on the language. It could be a bit problematic.
His counterpart laughed with slight embarrassment.
Mistranslations can be troublesome.
Yeah, it nearly got us accustomed to a fire.
A fire? How could they keep consistently surprising him like this?
They nearly tossed you into a fire? What did you say?
Hearing Sam's voice was a surprise. He had been here the whole time, but hadn't said anything. Tails had pushed his presence to the back of his mind and hadn't even noticed him.
I don't know, but hopefully it won't happen again. I've been working on improving it. Earth thankfully has a lot of data in its different languages, and Knuckles has been helping with the ones he knows.
That's all very amazing, but those holograms you use sound incredible. I want to see those.
Oh yes, please, Mr. Tails from another universe.
Cream clasped her hands together and looked up with a pleading expression.
Okay.
Other Tails looked very happy that they were interested in his inventions and started to go off into a spiel about all the different ways he could have the holograms act. He fiddled with it for a moment, and a green glitchy effect formed into a perfect copy of him, performing the same basic smiling and waving actions over and over again.
That's amazing!
Chuck watched with wide eyes.
Thanks, and watch this!
He pressed a button and the hologram started to mimic his actions instead.
Wow, now we have 3 tails!
Cream looked at the hologram in wonder and reached out to touch it. The moment she did, Tails' hologram disappeared.
Ah! I scared him away! I'm so sorry, Tails!
Don't worry, they just do that when they're touched.
Oh, that's good. I would have been so sad if I broke your cool hologram.
Hey, Cream, hold my hand. I want to show you something.
Cream reached out and took Other Tails' hand, and he pressed the button to make a hologram. Just like last time, a green glitchy effect appeared, and a hologram of Tails appeared, but so did one of Cream.
Truly exceptional.
Chuck said in awe of the small device. The little fox blushed under all the praise.
It's going to be great talking to you about our inventions. I can't wait to show you the X-Tornado.
The X-Tornado?
Yeah, it's the plane I built. I can fly, transform it into a battle mode, and do all sorts of things.
That sounds awesome.
The door slammed open with a loud crash. Knuckles Wachowski had never seen a dwelling for one family be so large.
You live in a mansion?
His brother was just as amazed as him.
Chris's mom is a famous movie star.
Your mom's a movie star? That's amazing!
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to see her that much because of her job.
Knuckles searched Chris's face for any sign of upset, but found nothing obvious.
You said our brother has already arrived?
Chris nodded. That was good enough for Knuckles. Carefully, he grabbed Sonic's hand and hurried to the door, Neither of them felt patient enough to knock, and the door was slammed open with a loud crash.
Sonic, Knuckles!
The youngest Wachowski barreled into them, and Knuckles pulled both his brothers into a tight protective hug. He had been so scared that they would have been hurt or out of his reach forever. He didn't want to lose his tribe again. But they were safe. His brothers were safe. And nothing was ever going to hurt them. Not on his watch.